Kamusta? I'm Claire. Today's topic is about designing digital learning environments, Part 1. Second part will be discussed to you by my partner, Ms. Cheese Rabago. Learning outcomes is to describe 10 learning strategies used in the classroom and discuss how to integrate technology and media. Teachers have superpowers. They can sing, dance, they can be mean sometimes, but overall, their goal is for their students to succeed. But how can a teacher ensure success in learning? The answer is learning strategies. A well-planned instructional strategies supported with appropriate technology and media prepare students for future careers. Learning strategies first step, presentation. The teacher or students dramatize or otherwise disseminate information. Information sources includes the teacher, guest speakers, internet sites, textbooks, audio, video, or other students. Advantages of presentations. Present once. You only have to present the information once for all the students. Note-taking strategies. Students can use a number of different note-taking strategies to capture the information presented. Information sources. Technology and media resources can serve as quality sources for the most current information. Student presentations. Students can present information they have learned to the whole class or a small group. Limitations of presentations. Difficult for some students. Not all students respond well to a presentation format. Potentially boring. Without interaction, a presentation can be very boring. Note-taking difficulty. Students may need to learn how to take notes to benefit from a presentation. Age appropriateness. Younger students may have difficulty sitting for lengthy presentation. And stop demonstration. During demonstrations, learners view an exhibition of a skill or a procedure to be learned. It can be used with a whole class, a small group, or an individual who needs a little extra explanation on how to do a task. The purpose is for your learners to imitate the physical performance or simply to illustrate how things work. Demonstration allows your students to ask questions you can answer during active learning experience. Advantages of demonstrations. Seeing before doing. Students benefit by seeing something done before they do it. Task guidance. A teacher can simultaneously guide a large group of students to complete a task. Economy of supplies. Only a limited number of supplies are necessary because not everyone will be handling materials. Safety. A demonstration allows the teacher to control the potential danger to students when using caustic materials or dangerous equipment. Limitations of demonstrations. Not hands-on. Students do not get direct hands-on experience unless they are following along as the teacher demonstrates steps or skills. Limited view. Every student may not have an equal view of the demonstration, thus possibly missing some aspects of experience. Non-flexible pacing. Not all students may be able to follow the demonstration pace of presentation. Learning strategies, third step, drill and practice. Learners complete practice exercises to refresh or increase fluency in content knowledge and skills. To be effective, it should include feedback to reinforce correct responses and to remediate errors learners might make along the way. Advantages of drill and practice. Corrective feedback. Students receive feedback on their responses. Information chunking. Information is presented in small chunks, allowing students to review the materials in small bits. Built-in practice. It is built into small chunks of information, giving opportunities to try out the new knowledge in some positive way. Limitations of drill and practice. Repetitive. Not all students respond well to the repetitive nature of drill and practice. Limit the number of exercises to prevent monotony. Potentially boring. Some materials have too many items which can lead to boredom. Solution: review the content and only assign relevant materials. Non-adaptive. If a student is making repeated errors, stop using drill and practice. Learning strategies, fourth step, tutorials. It introduces and teaches new materials. It involves learners working with an agent in the form of a person, a computer software, or special printed materials. That presents the content, poses questions or problems, requests the learner's responses, analyzes the responses, supplies appropriate feedback, and provides practice until the learner demonstrates level of competency. Advantages of tutorials. Independent work. Students can work independently on new material and receive feedback about their progress. Self-paced. Students can work at their own pace. Individualization. Tutorials respond to students' input directly. Limitations of tutorial. Potentially boring. The repetition can become boring if the tutorial follows a single pattern that lacks variation. Possibly frustrating. Students can become frustrated if they do not seem to be making progress while working on the tutorial. Potential lack of guidance. Lack of guidance can mean that a student does not move through the tutorial effectively. Learning strategies. Fifth stop, discussion. It involves the exchange of ideas and opinions among students or among students and the teacher. When discussions are used as learning strategy, advantages can include interesting, challenging, inclusive, and opportunity for new ideas. Using discussions in a classroom can also present limitations such as the following: potential for limited participation, sometimes unchallenging, difficulty level. Some questions asked to elicit a discussion may be too difficult for students. Age appropriateness. Discussions may not be effective strategy to use with younger students without teacher direction. Learning strategies. Sixth stop, problem-based learning. Students can actively seek solutions to structured or ill-structured problems situated in the real world. Structured problems present students with a clear sense of what might constitute an appropriate response. On the other hand, ill-structured problems can be solved in more than one way. Advantages of problem-based learning. Engaging. Students are actively engaged in real-world learning experiences. Context for learning. The relationship between knowledge and skills becomes apparent as students work toward a problem solution. Levels of complexity. Introducing additional problem issues over time can control the level of problem complexity. Limitations of problem-based learning. Difficult to create. Creating quality problems for learning can be difficult. It can help to develop problem-based lessons with other teachers and to use web resources. Age appropriateness. Age and experience levels of students may mean that the teacher will need to adjust a problem to ensure that students will have a successful experience. Time-consuming. Creating and using problem-based lessons can be very time-consuming. Learning strategies. Seventh stop, cooperative learning. It is a grouping strategy in which students work together to assist each other's learning. Advantages of cooperative learning. Learning benefits. Mixing the ability levels of students within a group leads to learning benefits for all. Formal or informal. Groups can be informal or formal based on the learning requirements. Learning opportunity. Long-term groups can be developed, creating multiple learning opportunities and content areas. Cooperative learning can be used with all content areas. Limitations of cooperative learning. Even though cooperative groups can benefit learning, you will need to be aware of the following limitations. Size limitation. Groups need to be kept small, 3 to 5 students to ensure equal participation. Potential overuse. If the strategy is overused, it can lose its effectiveness. Choose cooperative learning when students' learning will be enhanced from discussion and sharing ideas. Group member limitation. Grouping members of the same ability level does not enhance learning opportunities for all students. Form groups carefully to ensure that multiple levels of ability are represented. Learning strategies. 8th stop, gaming. It provides a competitive environment in which learners follow prescribed rules as they strive to attain a challenging goal. Involving from 1 to several learners, games are highly motivating, especially for tedious and repetitive content. Games often requires learners to use problem-solving skills in figuring out solutions or to demonstrate mastery of specific content demanding a high degree of accuracy and efficiency. The use of games has been shown to increase learning as compared to traditional learning methods due to the added value of features such as challenge, interactivity, multimedia, feedback, fantasy, and realism. Gaming offers several advantages, such as engaging. Students are quickly engaged in learning through games. Match 2 outcomes. Games can be adapted to match learning outcomes. Variety of settings. Games can be used in a variety of classroom settings from whole class to individual activities. Gains attention. Most games are colorful, interactive, and competitive, helping to gain students' attention for learning specific topics or skills. Limitations of gaming. Competition concerns. Because of the orientation to winning, games can become too competitive unless caution is used. Levels of difficulty. Less able students may find the game structure too fast or difficult. Provide alternate games to match students' ability levels. Expense. Games, such as computer games, can be expensive to purchase. Often, a similar game is available for free on the web. Misdirection of intention. The learning outcomes may be lost because of the interest in winning rather than learning. Make sure to clearly state learning objectives before students use the game. Learning strategies 9. Stop simulation. This allows learners to confront a scaled-down version of a real-life situation. It permits realistic practice without the expense or risk involved. Beyond role-playing, simulations can represent situations that may be too large or too complex to bring into your classroom. Using simulation offers advantages such as safety. Simulation provides a safe way to engage in a learning experience. Recreate history. History is a very boring subject. Maybe the only way to engage students in the situation is to simulate. Hands-on activities. Simulation offers opportunities for hands-on experience. Variety of ability levels. Students of all ability levels can be included in simulation experiences. Some limitations associated with the use of simulations includes the following. Questionable representation. Not accurate representation of the actual event during the simulation is an artist's rendering rather than video or photos of an event. Complexity may become too complex or intense for the classroom setting. Review all simulations before use and only integrate relevant sections. Time factor may require too much time to complete. Search for a simulation that demonstrates targeted concepts in a shorter time frame. Learning strategies last stop discovery. It uses an inductive or inquiry approach to learning that fosters a deeper understanding of the content through the learner's involvement. A common approach to discovery is the scientific method. Various software applications such as spreadsheets, databases, concept mapping, and digital devices such as science probes, microscopes assist students in organizing, analyzing, and reporting data and information needed to discover the answer of a question. Discovery learning strategy provides advantages that includes engaging. Discovery is very engaging for students at all levels of learning. Repeated steps. When using discovery learning, you can use procedures or steps that have been taught previously. Student control of learning. Discovery learning allows students the feeling of control over their own learning. Limitations to consider when implementing discovery includes the following. Time factor. Discovery can be time-consuming for design and implementation. An option is to adapt web-based discovery lessons. Preparation is critical. Discovery requires the teacher to think through all the possible issues that the students might encounter. This becomes easier with practice. Misunderstanding. This strategy may lead to misunderstandings about the content area. Make sure to debrief students after a discovery lesson. Takeaways to this presentation is the 10 strategies in designing learning environments such as presentation, demo, drill and practice, tutorials, discussion, problem-based learning, cooperative learning, gaming, simulation, and discovery.